dire mal telltale urang asula governor mattige rubagara aira girala igale kabogalley كذا أبلول الوالغمر هذا الميميلير بالواد مرال جيد لما سيجروا له قطرة ترى غرول تيجوا مرال وسن ترى كرول especially هذا رانغلو سارة على عمل نغير تير تيجا غرا سلعنا airport متمال دي تدي متنو أكل مالير تير مور airport نشوف متملا بس موني ده ما تدريجات تدريج مساعدة graduation مالبونيا دي أختي أقاي بيك وستيجار ربع قليل بالنصوص المعاو سايقال تقلي دي كده مرال جد رما سايقلو بقل تقل را أقرول لوكو سبايقال نارير كده أدرا أبلور بيلام so قطرول دو تلتقل بدو سوسراي بدول مرقلاي مرو بقول بيلام بيلو maybe رقلاي مر مسيل بيلاو President Baules ma tugobet selung itu taraga floor leader ukno se elabangyan marabek kal senators dirigal mora speaker ganay susriyid ma dirigal floor leader marabek kal delegate selabangyan relal tutau dirigal mal susriyid ma vice president ma dirigal uka minister selabangyan relal tutau ma chief justice ngiraigalau ma rogol justices maar governors, speakers, maar bekkel leitors regal bekkel belu, maar bekkel other belau. Ngara alsela blur belau, mangara ikla blur belau. Kida mal so adal qotlu wala qada mal marengar tira amle ngil Christmas. Marengar sule wishing them a very happy and prosperous new year. Kida بطوغا غرا عمدالا غار مدادر الى السيل سوغا دي سواد المو وسما يغدا مالان تنغت تنغرتين غدالا سينات ما هاوس بسكا غاتيب التام قرا ديمو ابديت كده last week or 2 weeks ago last week era Christmas Eve December 24 Mnari agora gadebel press conference and dimla gadra media artiang I just want to update sel mle agreement the signing the third country national agreement كده مدين واساسه مغطى ngari om sodel kada mnar ol bira glula ol mnari agora meeting la mangela angel ambassador Aaron Wright mle btoga concern sera radra blue kada milngat mokringil Narial da dura mugila blue ramrigel later gimnara airport Florida Senate bebera senators mar delegates samlar say Maria suggestion mar landal was to create a refugee working group Naria working group will be create ni the gemnet magaloreo mall on December 24th sel wal blel final agreement hablo dos años y mamlarte lo bangeda amlo saingeri amlaria aspiger maradra house omtera rubugul belan lengir turong omtera masil belan le bilung ma adiregal omtera governors le governor angirata boet ma omtera speakers le speaker Thomas I believe ma of course omtera meeting na executive branch amlaria Minister Orgaril and co-chairing him Minister Victor of Ireland I'm signing an agreement a Minister of State so I know to a question of me so several time and we'll share with you I get you off stuff tara mo gibon bas kami amo kapir sel MOU so you can see the kapira MOU mo blagtak mo ra baklata idre ka mo sa kapis sel mora both houses relal sil smata makapil كده ديرك المال التنات one of the most higher الالسيل سيل bill هذيك شو السيل number 12-4 يتيام دمال المريغا سولير تريال delegates mar senators ang artia ديرك المريغا سولير ميديا Ito ko ba't last press conference ra year mga ngaria opening prayer by Pastor Idong, e moria closing prayer gidel mga Pastor Sandario. So kataman mo nga sulil diri kalau mga diri tutong. And of course muito ta Miss Sungyama, Miss Raklay, Miss Tulog. So kataman mo nga sulil ng artero uy. Lilay, boy sing. Dia kali lilay. Ngalde. Lila dibus. Yes. So sel bill ba sa nila tuto se wal dil imol bill ndit tablo to abol lo sa de floor leader. Gidam din lo se tara magtatal الissue رابلور بلا سين مغرا دوسي كرولل ما تقول مغيرل كومبالي تيرا ngara togora construction amos il participate ra togora aigel ukurora qabalment المرارة السيل عبلور بلا من قدمنا سولة لا تملا introducing a senator Malaire oy a senator Malaire الهي لما تقللت البيل تيا مستر سنة most all senators عمله introductory كم يروح عمله introductory دين عندي أقوم رالو أسه أسه experience la senator Malaire عمله ملارا public work يعني عمله cloud غيرين رأيه لو عمله تريبل لأنه سل لوك بيلرا وك procurement requirements la تقرا construction la blur بيلو كده عندنا سين متوقع مجرد الشوبر على سير عبلور بلاو سل لوكل سال مرينغ لا يجد requirement را procurement مو مرينغ تيرا participate متيانا سل غوتر ليا أو سي سل banding requirement كده عندنا سل مختار banding requirement protect the government بلاو من ديال لوسر سل وال insure project من سل ممرك من عمره لو سا ngaria abtogol rael sedro yungia qabalmenta basel complete tra project sel baaklo من tial bila awara lilo sel sumo bringer tira mala banding adongo sa sisi dingaria ko sedro ore kadulu dudir el morsel time kadulu release leng ser cloud to trela magra moria tele legal tol combalir bela migrer combali in fact gol gera adra si pirelio se tetera tase terlui ma tede atriel wal contractol combalir bela participate gal project rablur bela من cloud to trela مجيغري amount ترى project بني التقليل تري بتوقع الكونتراكتول البارتيسيبيت مسيت ترى هذا وريول لو منجلا أسي أي بي رول جيلو أسي مغرا تومسا project يدول تقول مو أيجل سايسل سيلا تقال كونتراكتور سير participate أو جيو تيجي الباندين أنا وسير تيم مكلو يجل amount نسيل ملا تيم المكلو and we help them grow لقيتا سودا البول بتوقع مكلو الكونتراكشن كمباني سير ألسلا بلور بيلو Akla mlartiang gele David Paul ang Minister of Finance ra Marshall o story na kasi kami mgrasin mo ramal tokal project tawon terma kasi tokal contractor kami ngasi kama di one contractor ko Marshall Island ngama ay got project ra pala bala sa amru kasi ko kater mo magigare mo tokal participate mo halak mo ra no me o message plus ngir you know we need to reform ayal اللي كده المو فيبر هذا بيلا سيا مختار من كذا مرينا سولة سيناتور ملايري ما of course أروح سيناتور سمين انترودو سرين مرينا سولة chairman other جروي ما other house los in مريا the review ني تيلا ما لما ترى يلدي من مريا ده house تو باي ملاي plus threshold mo 300,000 ma 600,000 mada dumal mrenga sulil bail mut na smisi kita mrenga se kenga tiga tam update since 1993 manggang inire da update de kita mal mrenga sulil adrol bil el alsil se tia introduction date. Tiam le introduce tra April 8, tobdara July, el mera house, emla tobdara house mga almost 1 year. Di adamre asura adora bilase. Di adim segi damla artia. Direk ngari emergency gidra tora shipping registry. Mang sel amneti bel mre deleng Senado Assembly floor amendment tra house الملاسم الادريس را او challenge gidra shipping registry le shipping registry gida el timing wala kaloryo sergon bali ang area issues ringi men dekal sila dekal sil harawr gid ay gel dia lang area Florida susa ko kilo email ra wana shipping company sa kaya tel dila mamarangi hal kami ko mukbil karang wa email address sa office of president email na kira legal dia la mlastak di kata tiang amal di masate alla executive branch minister obiang ama hayes magada kada mare del sigia gombalil si el lord tia uror e gida more through sel process el sigia amral gombalil continue operation gida amdeng el wase over the past years tia dugurulil mlegrel shipping registry adim letelal 100,000 at collect trim lamo yang lang kailun million tarna kalu providing el revenue merablur belaw in so adro si garara el adro giving malmol may el revenue mesois most important thing ndekal matamal isel belaw lagi dam dingin asel moy tegel dial malu ngarea issue nya opridais rase tel registry bela da adro marari tia kalsak bagi kita dekal sodal al murul mang mring asulin miskita flexibility magada سيد الأوريول مريض القط مكلي أوريول من دقة أديال المرخ منجرة استغلين دقة سيد المولا paper work كتير من كذا هي مال دي واي قال ملال مكيت تلتوق لابوليس بس قالوا نعم دقة ريجستر عملي من ده عشان دقة ستيت نروح عملي كلوز من دقة سيد ريجستر عملي ما أقوله ملو دقة الأوريول دقة سيا so that make sure you know سي دقة كلوز قبل ما تربيلا وما tel shipping registry lo bangklel velal mang akpral dimreng asulibra adim lemre ya akmading lo ase of course gida proposal daso agumra lo ase asel el día o sigara a solution mang kadamding lo ase mlaria agora amle discussion mamlaria amle propose the proposing executive branch other sin mora aspiger ma present ra senate kadamre asul house el mlosi lotungi of course amla legal concerns ra senate kadamre asul el maldi se tara la gotta kadebol conference committee kumesin a youtube dimle 20 minutes oy ada amre asul chairman el dimle 20 minutes a conference kamiu kom kayget elia dire kamal amre asul le mla legal betokol ribbon cutting kadamile qrablu ra babel da idri kalmro ya felwer ambassador mo Florida rausa lugam le khrawa belda bel mumrek agi umrek ngalong yang edeklo mal di miral mel tu akra ngrul modlo session el mel continue mora el momel masumara ambassador limang tamral holidays de tema tirama omal di urior ma kadmar ngasuli ser commitment tergamil el make sure endegal mataro ba yel mcloud tutel service el mora radar belaw ma yel uksisable la anges el merablur belaw por ahí doble cuate ale el exterior miral raigal ribbon cutting floor leader hemos dado a house o ni tertilo hace queda de la mesa y rogul te ala así se pele la do del miral se la blur vela el día el niña motomelia claro gid malu tertela claro al se la blur vela agumra lo hace sel tora marine sanctuary أقدر ولا إنتنتري نهل بريد المغليوم اللي مطبوق رتيالو جل أكلنا رجيد. بعد السيم تام كده مدينا سايقة البولا يجا ترى المانيج تيال الذبيذ ما أرمل اليوم رجيد متيالو جل أكلنا رجيد make sure مدي قدام ولا نلاق نقول ولا التملي تيالو جل أكلنا رجيد. مدمرين أسولة لا مينستر فيكتوريا الملام عمره غير رجول studies الملام أوتيل واسه الملام time the right size را marine sanctuary Ayel rogul omsu amlam kataklil wase. 30% is the right size. That means 30% the protectory. Is el 70% of those peri. El diga dos peri ngari atel gelen. Minister Victoria Drigamlem na Rashabal. Ikadoma sa igel lidi sila fishing days and mani misem lang mga tetsual modiak. Mdayo na sa ige et ledra u karger mer al sila blur velaw. Mdayo na sa telela u tara asise belela garul mer al sila blur velaw. Es el gotel suadan el mga tmokriya make sure ige rogul dongot mok amoklung yo la other velaw. At the same time en sobakli ti alugi laklangan gid mag flores per atolo se Florida se the balance of protection ma production hindi ka aiga girel el magalore el tablo hindi ka se magada mga reom le matmokra alugi laklangan gid edire glomes se maigel se de los pel sengra ruba kal dios el tiar club gala abelwad magara dos pe el girel laklangan other bela rogo gimlara aiga bergaringa se Aiga la connector gide open at alla ragarul. Ya, atara agarula asel el fishing hatch reel el blura Taiwan amo help para blura pangal el mruri mo se dalo mgrula aula ndi de galsel de mgrula aula de otrulel. O inga otrul marad ndi sel tara otrul la awal. Mang kadokora kay nga seuma Akasen tara igel niya sedel o tutil el albes el rak radimred diregal tora pension ma SS they need reform kadam langwa 20 million elal blada sana sel TCN kadam langwa another 6 million le 26 million sel mlegora estimate sel dos penil reform ra pension mak man mo excited re kasi al sumun sela tiyan mal diger el tora shipping registry mal nemred el matmuklam regal tablo el house yakno se gal bitol kita albang al amla mo pala regal tablo el blind mga kamal ready na next year pastor Sandario design abil mal mobto kam yakura di look forward al regal bitol bill next year el gadido wal over record ada om dior top del me Florida kamit ela kadang arter terul Florida ang artem gadi om disen del me design ada Okay, akti mring asulura amring loro rakde se maigam la pala bregal teblol bay makti akti mingil. Okay, sulang tel kalang artiang makmal di mring asulura igal for el bill bada sana el alir look for the marigele la 15 next year. Oh. Okay. Hindi laksan. Okay. Yeah. Hal, magandang makarang. Oh. Okay. Balas, okay. Mela kata. Hindi hale, maybe ngari aso sino. Hale malang ang dua. Flor, ada kasong bakit mo siya eh? Happy New Year ma. Ajo? Okay. Eli. Oh, nombre ka session ako may Eli. Okay. Yeah. Tingnan mo sa passed on May 2025. Thank you, Rosie.
Hindi ang gina December 12, tila-transmit na lang dito.
The initial. Tiyo kong rayan. Siyasya. Nakama, floor din sa ating asting.
Oh.
Right. Musil. Alara. Okay. Okay. Sì. Vabbè, scusa, era trovo il video, lembro continui. Sulla, Happy New Year. Ay, moran, berarti. Oh, como present mo Martila. Okay. Hindi, meron mo kumdi nga. Tadi nga siya. Kita kada mo continue to press conference rigid. Tiya ko ra endra here. Magia gi ko ulungit ro ase. Well, kada mlamra el mliwa kreli. Lobangela ministerly lagi dam dengan sengge momarayan. Matia momara January 11. Momara koram le last ribbon cuttings. Magim la reang. Mesa sel up na momaregal upgrade a gym. Te emlera ngurul woblo. Mesa sel completion ra sel gym ra ngurul woblo. Mle continue mora ngatpang mesa ang asal mesa yer tool additional ra na momarek. Morang along mesa sel completion ra sel saying renewed and extended the state building ra ablong sa makla amin ang along yang makla bokol mong kada of course yung namure ka Temel Ambassador Lee ablur belau. We want to take this opportunity and thank Ambassador Lee for really her commitment to enhancing the enduring relationship that we have between the Republic of China and Palau. Earlier, we used the terms of saying, planting seeds of love. Taiwan, take the love, the symbol of love. Umural was saying, we are family. We're Austronesians, we're we were in COVID and they were there. We're coming out and rebounding with tourism, they were there. We were in need, especially sa tema ng COVID, and that was the only place we could send patients. Ambassador Girelsi. Especially tige man le closed, igidam na COVID rigid, but still atam la ala rigid of the tirada. I think that shows Rase, at the end of the day, we're family, we care about each other, we take care of each other at the hardest times. Kita dirikan mal almaring asuler ngara magikarel tukol muna maklol tukoy. Participate of tirar maas, tirar other all bill tirar magikarel at المرام له برقلو سنين السيل لوريور ما يجل لو برنامج را امبسيا was really about helping people. It's about uplifting and other velo. And I think most recently is el bladesanga hindi ka legal tokol nga sura kabelment tra blura Taiwan kadire ko mesa investment ra Taiwan at sa blur belan lamgis and Minister Lina of course hindi gamlay temle sana igel teblo MOU on la magela blura mlego kom seligar si passion look es el group para Taiwanese investors el me serve lao lo kom segel opportunities sorry lo magel akla abes el saudrin di tara mle on trira se el tore elet visa come se la pasra senet se la direct na house hopefully di mre del me diget el tara atal lo mergid lo sis ba bes el rule ba toguning o trial tira dogot meder tir. And I think that's what we want to see. We want to see good investment, legitimate investment, and especially by our partners. So thank you, Ambassador Lee, for the last 4 years, the partnership, the friendship, and most importantly, sharing the seeds of love with all of us in Palau. We wish you the best on your continued journey back home, and until we meet again. So, not to give touch yourself, third country nationals, haladik matalibel time edik gataklisel agreement mol clear mer arbekla. Ako truule se gataklil waseng ndi 75 al af adala artil mekira ablur bela aurior. Ndiru before any of them amer belao egidel ga government rebela agirel gongi. Tara requirement that kasi na criminal record that can de kasi na rin emro ablur bela kabo mas alis tertir decide wase first of all ayang medel blur gid oy dollar tir roid ding nga toktang gang nurs nga asedros perin me on gid. That's what we look at the malartial kadire ka lulungit tertiro aseng mo face hindi kadil tal timer beto kortirame me ten kada tangara PCC motura process employer samo interviewer tire kada matcher tire mergot todo el muro el es la idea we want them to come a different experience ayer be hablo ngari atamore asim me no kita de kada ngar stila gidelia we're a welcoming place kada suad el مرور تيال program رجيد المواضيع رجال بيت البلو كذا هو الغامر تيل أوين يشور أبلو رجال لو ترايل السترة president مالوين توك مرور سلوا سه أبلو ماما أبلو رلا ما دور تيرخ رلا دي أدور تيرخ رلا ليه ندري قالوا يكورا سه وايد تيرخ جيد هذا جيل المر أبلو ناريني نارابود كده سه أوي كذا ملا تير دي دولار تير وقوارا تريتال دور تيرخ kada malartil mel trigamel happy aurior ekelo bangamam aldi wa artigal ewid el tela la adrangod el blur kira el sela blur bela mang mariar amel mo adran traction mariar amel sum sorry el adrasers aga it's the whole range other order hotel to restaurant so kida umra lo se tiang ateal el mongir ambrigel mongir tirala droror edire kan ngania aklonal mergi dar other bel so cell working group sea mo ngar alere la mo tira mo screen emro ko mes tigel first el meso is bra blur bela mal to katlu loy dira tar tirala del mera blur bela there's a process ma a first step a blur ambrigel a gir el senda y el udo del mergid Vice Chief of Staff Maria Udo del help PCC prepare themselves. Se lo hago de clepsei, en íamos el material adel. El tira blood screener tira working group, tira me. So, of course, el damnas modas en el Udo del mel o la seorgidra oltagar tira lad, and that's everything from ablay malubeng kada hairar besel mobulis kada hairar maybe kada mo recruiter other belal ngara ikrel belal me bulis mer belal recruiter sensor ikrel belal other belal mut return mer belal agi kita opportunities el through ay grant sense edro spell el helper adel el mer mel degal dil helper ti other on the blue degal helper other belal ikrel blue belal mang al sumo ngaria rodeng setial other belal kira ikrel blue belal السوري المرور government الى التايم غير 200 الفيجنسيز قبل من they were ready to hire yeah biggest vacancy minister advisor Jenkins education minister of justice bla police so please molus el melo asa gingan amrigel namosom le gor me how can you help us le gor or me I think we gira de no me sagi del te al o sikrol so we're open to that Adrian mga sulit ang brigada commitment tertil mga sa orgidra law enforcement, disaster resilience, madrigal beser hospital. Of course, ako lang announce ni sel pension plus nga so tira to ko pension plan. Kita am dengelo ase bato agaro sululdaso and that's democracy. But at the end of the day, we have to make a decision. Es el decision adong bro ase multoira Ruptoy sa other belao, Miguel lurungule other belao. Ngaria, a newspaper malsual broadcast rase, tia di tal present armor tringi lurio. Olbi omtok, ma arubugul bela omtok. Di bodo blagatak, arbebir arubugul bela omtok, arbebir senators omtok. A house a support, our governors a support, our speakers to support Royal Vehicle State. Marmasil belam to support. Egedam let magalor tel agreement. The only group dim lagal mera egal agreement lo mesra sodel. Our senators at them refuse me. Ukle decision our president til was in dega adalego. And I respect that le decision til. Digida amdelo ase tial belwada afraid blue. So everybody can make their own decision. Kada mrenga suli lo ase tulo teo do suiri mrenga suli se lo kune suggestion urti. Leng floor leader a senate amam le suggest ase ngirel mrula working group. So kada mrenga suli se gidel suggestion adul tira clear ruling. Ndi mo president a senate amle decide ase ndi ga adra senate mo partra working group. Separation of powers, whatever decision that you make leng Oy, sometimes the morning cell issue lo hace como mo imura yung madaging part try lagi el group por kami. But anyway, kaduk mo ege da focus lo hace. Mel al materialat agulito hace. De wala ka martir triga adiway triga al botokol adlo uror al sela blur belaw. El me dos pertil lorol help el malaget grab el wat. Ya pa umasa se clote lo hace. El alame triala el diria do sikro ase imagrado recruiter trial nalgeda na amrigel bebim la mota men no soril muter merme ngaraigel ral sedro giungi men artil mer ablur bero le gdamra na son sara police en son sara ar sensei diria na son sara adro hospital mang akpade la se ngari ar bebi ra kan tractor mara se ya gamam dal samra le tamlar mes se adra mexico mal modul adra kan traction makase hala first priority agi filayel ngaregel direct shortage ng mga government ma state government hindi ko sa tigal 75 balil din nga national ma state bola ka pat sa process kada mo regel ko to probable sabed malartigal adal may make sure to kada we're all ultimately ado sigenia mo ngil gira adra ablur bel so with that by the material kadam le decide ro ase ukhulngari atte alela igal hafra ministry oh so me question and answer the bora oh hada bora question and answer sure ala ka di mo do to mata
questions and then I report back out. Put the tell prevent the design any more require okay, ratification and then the city has.
Yeah, there's no requirement OEK ratification. Lende kangaral the changing al ulbela.
Ati kasi lagi ako na provisions natin related and possibly hindi ka ng blue below regarding acceptance na length of stay na removal of difficulties. For example, pagsara si Tirami ang relative to Bali, length of stay accepting mo high-tech let's say akong Bali may after 2 years and now in Palau it didn't Tirasa il Serena, come in anni avanti, io sono sempre
So process zoom kad mo send them back. Etigel partra mo ala working group. Amo mesel el blue lo asim mo safe el sender team mo sender team if they need to be sent home. Well, they should be following a law bela. I see. So, a law bela, assume they got a transfer and they got seat transfer. Get it more me. That's problem. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure in Al-Salam I get blue that we have diplomatic relations with. They are need blue dollar other. I get blue ngania to bet sell the will get the battery. Triga said the mother door address issue. That's one of the reasons why I gotta make sure that I get the blue only countries that we have diplomatic relations with. Yeah, second term bello. Oh, it's egida said spell. For example, help PCC upgrade PCC. Pay a stay till for sure amount of time. I guess but I'm interpreting as 100,000 no. Ludo Damera government Bella, I got a spare il Mrula priority Sergid the Domus close to trail help Rigidra assimilation or Tigala. So, for example, so housing in Abdur Bella, let's make sure we have more housing in Al Abdur Bella. We need more police officers, gotta hire more police officers. Again, they are restricted el mo de Maragalir Malabun take care Tigala. I think that's
what I want to
yeah. They are why you know there are Uyghurs that came or Amlaria self understanding and was in
Mengkurantan merabur bela como sparing and help assimilated meaning provide the housing whatever you need to osig already or something like that.
Yeah. Help them get employed.
Last question pastati ala bebila sel MOU ngaring language ringil wase ngaranga exit plan tirgal at kami ngaring audio bangela blo America relocate them to another country al ubet tirgat kadamalartir forever.
So just to give you some background, Blue Rock, Costa Rica, for example, took 300 of them. Yeah, within Tel Albuila, 150 Mlamarahan. So that's just an example. Triable 1 year, 150 Mlamarahan.
They choose to go back to their countries.
They choose to go back to their countries. I think the rest of them already.
I see. Balso kung mambal ko la si Almel, nga niya choice either to go back to the
Of course.
country, alo ba taman
Yeah.
mo mel under a
Uh-huh.
contract. They're not stuck here
They're
for
not stuck here.
forever.
Yeah.
Right?
And America lagi niya lo say tigiluk mosoril manal. IOM will help them. We'll use the process that IOM will help to train more me. That was one of the things.
Nga niya role na IOM na
Yeah.
silsila mo yun.
I don't know. Sa mga sila mo isel role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understanding rin lo say. Or ding ari obviously IOM mertia. So they will be the people that help rin
Hindi nga niya choice I read somewhere was it tigal may to passport. Tiga to labay ka
To
passport na
passport.
buri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of them nakiram regal more than a year. Tell third country nationals. Namo ari refugee asylum third country national is somebody nakira al sila regal for more than a year. Etamol tiginin asing urior. Yung may claim ase. O ulak ngartiang mora bak pokre. So under uklar regal they cannot grant them asylum. Lam lang alak karsel 1 year. So they can never, under asylum, mo other cell below. So they cannot ever grant them asylum. But some of them have been there 20 years, 30 years. So they have work permits, and then they also kirsel. So same process as well. Get the other part. Get the other part. They also grant asylum. They also give out citizenship. Other they were all under a visa. So same process. Of course, ang regala dire kalombra lo ase. Abato kortir ang arsel economic migrants. They're not there as asylum seekers. Gida position gida ase. Sedekal issue gida ase. Tirgarad dire los peanges. Cristiano al blue. We help them. Of course, at that choice, it was sorry, Kirbela. Ano ba tam naman marigel puri. So that's why I say kada help from brigger o pala sirtira immigration trial or tow trial dir help trial other tir o Spanish help problem bela at the same time. So it's a win-win for you.
Maluyin tutaw. Talagari ka mara Minister of Justice. Ngaria update tra investigation ng escape del prisoner.
Okay. No me da katisi, question atisi. Oh, kada finish ese. Electrical minister's area presentation or tirmo. Ngobe sogal.
Victorio, tirgal 75 el may ngaria family tira tanto wal dil individual el adel may.
So, for example, a 75 number, that's the number of people. Also, mga riabil, that's counted as part of cell 75. Also, mga riabil, but they will counted as part of cell 75. Now, Tim give me an example. Also, mga, let's say, nga toktang from Ukraine, also, Merbela. Yeah. I would say, ang wil dung gel toktang ayal biil, adiri kon wil accept rang alagel ma biil me. We need doctors. So that would, and that's up to the working group. Mo say the special cases, di cell intent gida was hindi karang alagel. But it's so many special cases, and it's a skill we really need and something in cell help period. Kada mo evaluate tiga mas kita list. We decide. They can bring it decide. Munida say take these people. No. We decided was nga angel domra sa best fit and mer abelwal dire kam natingan mo ang regalo was wala dire kal som left tigel meder gid for example tingan gel deputy chief of staff ra a Trump was what's his name Stephen Miller was akong da sa kadinga ra huriping ama a Bangladesh ma agagidele igan kom la reach 75 Letiga, triala tang amrigela from all of these countries. Mosengaria Vietnam, ngaria Indonesia, ngaria Bangladesh, ngaria. So, actually, because lekament terang masya, kung kaso marad similar culture, kumamagit already small team. I think one advantage that we'll get is because tigam na ura rambrigel more than a year, the team they to rambrigel. Adi todo le hace. Se le gerde sum tangara California mila $20 hora alber bela $5 hora akala la kalsal happy. But tigda, I think they're gonna have to make an adjustment ra uksel thinking artira amount ra udo. Tigda am na da ser mutu mambrigel anyway. But that's why we want to welcome them. We want to make sure they understand that they apply for Belau, they get earnings from other Belau, and they have to assimilate to that.
Last gadi daito ako diogel si el akada malarar 75 ngaring ako ra oseng la government in the future al sugum tigal 75 so happen it mongil ngaring oseng la government el mutal mo extend el malarar mutal debi latang di tiay del 75.
Yeah. The real time MOU
Yeah,
gida
di
mal
say
tapal
gida.
di 75.
Okay.
I mean, there was I'm sure Amrigela Swara they have to with more. Say, but that has to be our choice.
The last question, President, why us? Ngaramang Amerika la choose la Belau, kamal beto ka maklol belul alay sertiri. Ngaramang ta.
Yeah, they offer more. I got to call Balu. It's our choice.
Offer to everybody, so
Yeah.
just one of them.
Yeah.
So kung nasa ating question again,
Mala dolingite naya questioner mare moje bai sokol kora amstira veram satal questioner tire hada bastira te al bal present ayeluk ora update ra ministry tire ayel el challenges ayel celebrate mayel ora osingira el almera almera ya gimle dice do sen ukti foreign ministry se lang next press conference and the other four ma elag domura education special advisor Chengin sen momre Emo Minister Victor, and then ang Minister Orgaril, and I tell what the taktim anyway, okay. So, sabong Minister Jenkins.
It's a rare opportunity for you to talk doing the education system. More time than I'm supposed to. I apologize in advance. The challenge which we face upon coming into the Ministry of Education basically were threefold. Number one, our facilities were antiquated and inadequate for what we needed to do. Number two, we had many people in teaching positions who may or may not have been qualified academically to be teaching those positions. And three, our curriculum was outdated and put in a way that is not facing the real world as we face it now. And all those challenges put together resulted in our students' achievement in their learning was below what we knew them to be capable of. So we trying to address these three major areas. This past year, everybody has seen what's happened to our schools in Karor particularly, but in all of the schools from Angar up to Kayangal. To make them better learning environments for our kids. We had studies done prior to instituting some of these issues that our classroom temperatures were 88 degrees or above all day long. That's not a good learning environment. It was obvious that air conditioning was something which needed to be done. And so we began small with starting with just 2 schools, Nortmo, which was really instituted by Ambassador Orikasa, who came up and saw it and said, "This is such a pathetic school, I'm going to fix it for you." And he did that, and it was really rather embarrassing for me, but very grateful that he was able to do that. And he gave us the stimulus to look elsewhere, what we could do. So we have, in that time, this year, we have put in new air conditioning, new windows, and new wiring to take care of the additional power load in Ngortmao, Ngortlong, Imalik, JFK, Peleliu, and Engar. All those schools are now, classrooms are now fully air conditioned. So the temperatures are adequate. They're much better for learning environment. That's one major issue which we did. Then looking at the schools in Karor, where almost 2/3 of our students attend schools here in Karor. Those schools were in really dilapidated condition, and some they were overcrowding, and so we were looking for ways to bring them up to speed and find ways to alleviate the overcrowding, particularly in Karor Elementary School. And thankfully, through the COFA negotiations, grant money was available to us to renovate those schools. And as a result, this past year, getting them ready for the games, a place for the people who are coming to participate in the micro games, having places to stay, which were clean, new, and adequate for their purposes. We renovated Palau High School, obviously, Munes Elementary School, Karor Elementary School, and Harris Elementary School, all of which we used during the micro games. And the renovation it's a slow, tedious process in many ways. We had to put in new roofs, all exterior painting, all interior walls were painting, new air conditioning units with the additional needs for better wiring. The floors needed to be done. We had to install ceilings. Many of our classrooms do not have ceilings. And upgrade the doors and security barriers. We had doors that were basically made out of very plastic, which you could open. All of that was done. We had to get most of that done during the period before the games began, and much of it was completed by that time. As you can see, the total projected cost for just the renovation here was about $8.5 million, which is a really good deal considering what we've gotten, what we've received. And if you go to the next slide, please. Okay, now this is Palau High School. I don't know about you, but I was embarrassed by the condition of Palau High School when I came by it every day. The condition of the roofs, there was leaking going on. It was just not in good shape. It's a brand new school. It's a beautiful school now. We have every single classroom has now been renovated. I won't bury you with all of this, but we've done it from the roof to the floors of all of those buildings now. So every classroom now in Palau High School is a comfortable environment. Things which we might not have realized, that not having a ceiling is a real problem because the acoustics are not good. You're bouncing sound off the walls, as well as temperatures are bad. So we had to install acoustical ceiling tile on all those, which necessitated new lighting fixtures for all the schools. So that's been a major issue. Also, we go to the next one. That was $5 million. This is what it looked like before, and it really doesn't do justice to how bad it really looked. But all those you're looking down at the roofs, and they're all rusted, and they've all been replaced now. Go ahead. And that's what it looks like now, with the new buildings, the new parking facilities, which have just been added, make it a much better place for people to go. And more importantly, a better place for students in the classrooms to learn. Okay, thank you. Next. Another view. There's still some work going on because when you renovate, sometimes you find out things that you didn't know were wrong and you have to fix those. So that's still going on, but we really tried to work the scheduling around, and Principal Reding really did a great job, and the faculty there were great at moving classes around so that they weren't negatively impacted. There was some impact on noise, but basically it was a very safe environment, and now it's, I think, certainly worth the trial. It's a beautiful facility now. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, new shower facilities, so students after PE can actually take a shower, which they couldn't do before.
Yeah, I know when Minister Olgril and I went to school, you couldn't use the bathrooms. And of course, there was no air conditioning, so.
Yeah, I had students come into my office across the street to use a bathroom in our building because they couldn't use the bathroom in the school. And we have a slide of one of those bathrooms, and they're really nice now. Okay, we'll get to that. Karor was another school which was in terrible shape. And now it's beautiful. In fact, as I walked down to go into the office after the renovation, I walked right past the door. I didn't recognize the office. It's changed that much. New doors, new windows, new paint. Everything's beautiful now. Again, this was about a $2 million project, but that's for 500 students, and the high school is 560 students. So there's significant numbers of students being positively impacted by simply improving the facilities. Okay, let's see if we can. Yeah, that's Karor Elementary School before. Yeah, play. That's after.
So that's not AI generated, no?
We couldn't do that good a job. Okay, but now you can see that they look more like schools.
That was a drone picture that
Much
we actually
improved.
took, right?
Yep. And the parking area, of course, at Corral Elementary is going to be a problem no matter what we do. Although the principal has come up with a very, I think, innovative idea, they're going to be opening up another access door or gate so that parents won't have to come to that one gate to get through. So they'll be able to get access to the school via another area. Okay, thank you. This is the building that really impressed me, is when you looked at it. This is before. And if you look at the roof, it's not a bad roof, but if you look at it, it's warped. And it has more than one seam. The new roofing is what do you call it? Single seam.
Standing seam.
It's not two pieces put together, it's one long seam. So there's much less chance of leakage and they're aluminum, so rust shouldn't be a problem either. Okay, thank you. Again, here's a close-up of that building. It's a beautiful building now. This is what it looks like inside. That's the bathroom nobody could use. I've been embarrassed to say how we maintained it. This is a boys' bathroom. You can see because of the what do you call it? Modesty panels by the urinals. If something was broken, we'd put a plastic bag around it so it couldn't be used, and that was considered fixed, and that's no longer the way it is. And if you look at the classrooms, and this is the office right here, which is much better. It's just a general purpose classroom. Notice the desk. The desks are not rectangular, and that's on purpose. Because with this shape, as you can see, you can put them together in a semicircle or a complete circle. So the teacher can actually be involved with more than one student at a time by being in the center of that circle. The other thing is we had students sitting on chairs that were designed for high school students, and they were in kindergarten, so their feet never touched the ground. And you can imagine what your legs are like after 8 hours without your feet being able to touch the ground. They came up with some very innovative ways to dress. And of course, you'll see that there's a widescreen TV in there. The teacher's using that for the instruction. This is the cafeteria. Again, and the cafeterias are also air conditioned and comfortable, so it's a very nice environment all the way around. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Harris was had a different difficulties. We were able to do it fairly quickly. Go to the next one. It was only 800,000, and basically the doors had to be changed. It needed to be painted. We needed new windows. We needed new security screen and new roofing, and all of that has been accomplished. There were some more bathrooms made, and for special education, a shower room was designed for them. So, okay, thank you. That's what it looked like before. And there it is now. Okay. Again, more parking area, which it had almost no parking at all. And a new sign. Okay. Outdoor hand washing stations, which were available before the renovation, but they were improved. And that's for sanitation, and these are shower rooms for the Harris kids as well. Munes basically had almost a brand new school. The cafeteria had collapsed, so that was taken out, and we built a new cafeteria, and then a new gymnasium right next to it, and so and then with the usual replenishing of the classrooms. There's before. This is after we removed the destroyed thing, and then
Cafeteria.
yeah, after.
That's before.
And that's after. The gymnasium over here is only half covered, but it's there. The thing in the middle there, that's the cafeteria room. The cafeteria looks a lot better when you're in it. That's a concrete roof. It needs to be water blasted, it looks like. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. And this is where there was still some construction going on at Munes. Essentially what's happened is that the school was very cut up into small pieces with a cafeteria right in the middle of the school And so everything revolved around that into small chunks. With that being removed and put off to the side, and then the gym being stationed even farther out, it opened up the entire middle of the school for playground use for the kids. And these are just some various shots around there. Again, more bathrooms for the kids, and then a general purpose classroom here. Again, the same type of desks are there, but you'll see some are taller, some are shorter, because they're all adjustable to individual student sizes. Okay, so that's what has been done so far. And the future is, you may have noticed we didn't talk anything about IRI Elementary School. That's because we're going to build a new school in IRI, and if you go, yeah, go ahead. And that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be built on the same site. It'll be larger, more classrooms, and it has specific 3 classrooms identified going to be for special education program. Physical therapy, hearing, speech therapy, and then a life skills class. Okay. It's 2 stories, but it does have elevator use, so for people with disabilities, not a problem. All of these special education classes are on the first floor. That, you know, that's them. Now this is the Despodal School, which is being planned for Ngesar, and this will be a early childhood through high school facility, and very much a community facility, we hope. This is going to be located, this is a 300,000 square meter lot, which is half of the lot which size we have. And this is basically going to have full classrooms for high school, elementary school, and early childhood, housing off to the right-hand side here for faculty, and full gymnasiums, cafeterias for both age groups, and then full athletic facilities for the tennis, football, track and field, softball, and baseball. Okay, that's all planned. We now have the land use agreement, correct? Yeah, so we're ready to start moving to the next stage on that one. Okay, that's the land, what do you call it, the terrain and how it fits in. But the school on that upper is fairly flat, won't require too much in the way of earth moving. Mm-hmm. Again, just moving back into an elementary classroom just to see how nice they are. They're really very nice. They're a lot better when the kids are in them, but you know, sorry, I didn't have time for that one. And one thing which I felt was, now that we have people visiting us from Korea, Japan, and Taiwan as students, I was always a little embarrassed by the conditions of our school when they received, because they're coming from these high-tech schools, et cetera. And ours were not quite up to snuff. And I think right now we have nothing to be concerned about. We can be very proud of the condition of our schools. I know the kids are. They really like it. In fact, I had one parent come up and complain their child doesn't want to come home anymore because their house is not air conditioned, but their classroom is, and so they're happy with that. All that's been done by the Bureau, by the school operations, with Director Ray Maol coordinating all of that. So he's been a very busy guy. Okay, all right, now. The next thing which I wanted to chat on just for a bit would be some of the other things which they're doing. We have new school buses for students that arrived last January. They're all 66-seater buses. And what they've done is, by getting the new buses, we have a much better route usage by the kids from Babeldaut coming into Karora. They used to have to take 2 trips because they couldn't hold everybody. Now they run down one Despodal and one at Cupu. So it works out very nice. The other thing, which I found amazing, they're digitized. The drivers all have iPads. And what they will do is every day as they move, it records the mileage, the number of students, and the amount of gas which they use. So we'll be able to have not only a daily online tracking of that, but also we'll be able to make, after time goes on, generalized statements as we know how much gas we're going to be using and all of those sort of things. So that's a big plus on that. And they were all trained, the bus drivers were all trained by by the staff, and so they all know how to use them, and it's working well. The next thing, which we really sometimes is overlooked, is the free breakfast program. Free breakfast program has made a tremendous impact at schools. It has not only got the school students coming to school earlier, but also more importantly, they don't want to snack as much because they've had a breakfast. And our meals are all designed by nutritionists. We had 2 this past year, one from Taiwan and one from Japan, who were able to get really high nutrition meals on it. And thanks to the Taiwan agriculture station for providing us with a lot of fresh vegetables at no cost, which was very, very nice. And thanks to the Ministry of Health and Human Services, we plan on restarting the food for the homebound this coming January. As soon as we get back in school, we'll get that back going, started up. That'd be great. Okay.
I think
Now-
we need to also clarify that the Ministry of Health is paying
Yeah.
the school for that
Yeah,
service.
none of
so
this
it's
is
not
taking
con-
food from our children.
Yes,
This is-
just make sure
the
that's-
Ministry of Health and Human Services is paying for it. Okay. Okay. Now, why are we doing this? What do we get out of all this work? What you have here is, this is a longitudinal study of class of 2024, 25, 26, 27, and 28. The reason you use a longitudinal study is to track progress. You eliminate variables of the study because the same students are being tested from year to year. We started with year 2021, which is the year before we began implementing the year-round calendar, the reading programs, and the new programs in the schools. And you will see the blue is our Iowa test score average for each grade, for each class as we went through. In the year 2021, they scored in the 28th percentile.
So, Advisor, it's the same students
Same
tested
students.
at 2 different times,
Yes,
4 years apart.
yes, yeah, correct.
Okay,
Okay?
just making sure.
And so by the time they 4 years later, they had moved from the 28th percentile to the 40th percentile. Now, that's a percentile. The percentile is the percentage of students who score below you.
Sure.
So essentially, with a 12 percentile change, they went over 350,000 students. They improved faster than those other students did. So basically,
So-
what they're telling us is, we're really good. We're really smart kids, and we can do this. And if you look at the next
let me
slide-
just explain in Palau. Tial dome senire lang a oti angalgar ngosisil ngalga. El me graduate tra 2024. Anding kadiri kan was keng ringir sera 2021. Mga osisil ngalga mo mesringim mesel
before and after.
sera was keng ra 2021 am la tigid el percentile. Albora a 2024 am la masra 28 and mo 40. So sel percentile sel sumo tial trigger gol melara test. Al sum ngara 50 ese wal average. Trigger gol melara test ra al sel ablu ram briger rogir. Egida included the tir ngara a 50. A 50 would be average of the waskuram briger.
We're getting there.
So ngegi del ngalgara 2021 or sige the class ndekal ngalga. Tia ngo arang la class. Ngari arang arba ngari ondi sel arang la class am le 28 elang lamas mo 40. Misal class ro graduate 2025 am le 29 elang 49 undi o tiro asing mral morba.
These are remarkable improvements. I mean, they're very, in 4 years, they have almost doubled their ranking and improving their scoring. And this is the same test, the same norm group being compared to as they go through. So it's a very even test. Okay? All right. Now, some people will say, well, you only showed us the 1 point. This is the same thing. This is the class that graduated in 24. These are their scores from the year 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Again, same group of students as they went through. And you could see that prior to 22, when we began the new programs, they were basically in the 25th, 28th, 30th, and 28th percentile. That was basically their average kid in that score. The first year, when the only thing we really were able to implement the first year was the year-round calendar and some new education programs, but not much. They went up to the 35th percentile. The following year, the same group of students went up to the 40th percentile, and that's when they graduated. So we lost, that's where they went. So, okay. Okay, next. Same thing here. I wanted to show you this because it's not just one group that's making dramatic gains. It's a lot of kids who are doing well. Same thing. This is the class of 25. This is the class that just graduated last May. And when they were in the grade 5 in 2018, they were at the 20th percentile. In grade 6, they were at the 21st. They went to the 30th. They dropped down to the 29th. New programs began in 22. They went to the 34th percentile, 37th, and 39th. So if you compare their pre and post, pre-testing being 21, where they were at the 29th percentile, post-testing being at 24, where they were at the 39th percentile, that's a 10 percentile change. 300,000 kids that they passed. Okay. Now, this is the same thing. You'll notice this goes to 25, because this is the first year we can go all that far. Again, grade 4, 24th percentile, grade 5, 26, 20th percentile, 25, 21 percentile, or year 21 in grade 7, they were at the 29th percentile. New programs began in 22, they went to 36, 34, 35, and then 41 last year. Okay. And this is the class is 20, they will graduate in 27, so they're what, sophomores? Yeah. Again, back when they were in 3rd grade, they were at the 22nd percentile. 4th grade, 24th percentile. 5th grade, 25th percentile. 6th grade, 25th. That's the pre-test. New program started, they went up to 32, 34, 37, and 45. Okay. And this is next year. Again, back in the 3rd grade, 20. We can't go back any farther than this year, the 18th, because we don't have any data. That before they switched, I guess they used the SAT, and we don't have that data. So we got the 28th percentile, 26, 27, 26. So very consistent around there. The new program started and we go up to 34, 44, and 42. So they have a little dip there. But again, these are changes, major changes in their learning, because this is a measure of learning. Okay? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, advisor. I know the press conference has been going on for a long time, and even one of our members of the media has left. And we have 3 more ministers to cover. So I think we've decided we're going to postpone it to the next press conference to continue this briefing by, let's just open it to, ahorita amna idea sa kabara rural ministry sila ran di man lang kamala press conference man bring asula advisor chengin sirup nam skida update ra to kora schooled by egelu restaurant ministry bon next press conference di so kan wate alan mas kami mo magera ager and more tingaro kon ministers mang apda seminary minister ger more minister justice siloger yeah Aru mo present lang di bere Alman excellent press conference.
Ngari update ra investigation ng escaped prisoner.
Ben masaula karim ngel escaped prisoner na mudem ra mid afternoon or early. He's currently back in custody. Ngari nga case tamrula case gel lotutak karing gel escape to include the gel giblam identifier or providing assistance. So that's actually a criminal offense, aiding and abetting. So there's cases being compiled for both his escape and for persons we've identified and aid and abetting.
The follow-up question now para President. At sila tarak naman niya thrill escapes, a fatal knife attack, and an inmate who was set on fire and later died. Magtalgarigak mo, how do you justify signing an MOU to accept 75 third country nationals from the United States to live and work in Palau when Palau's justice system cannot currently keep its own inmates safe or securely in custody?
Okay. That can make sense of the question. What do the third country nationals have to do with the jail? I think the third country nationals are not criminals, so they're not coming to the jail.
No, I'm not saying they are criminals. I'm
Oh.
asking for the safety.
Safety.
Based on our
So, agera wase, trial adal me. Tamadaganeng al adal mo ula gira del momada. No, trial adal madaganeng al. Sebla da sodi. Kadamla smodil wase. Tirgang ada criminal record. Trial dollar tin mera blur vela. Maria process el bodo acceptri. Abay si adal duli wase. Abay process el dogi wingi because ang namani grant. Abay mo help prabla bulis. Say abay, that's the positive thing. El say adal ombes. The third country national agreement. Abay mo namo maskida angeso. El mo help prabla bulis. One and a part ra bol maskida mregela $2 million in assistance. El gira law enforcement and security. All separate. So the question was we have challenges in the Department of Public Safety. Number one challenge, there's not enough people that are working. I say, gigadara dit advertise do sigarar at yadigar adame. Awulak produlis el tolo ase glebla bol time el dosi krola de incentivize ran lagi dan ngar ikre lablur belaw el sorin mobulis el lutel me. In fact, ngari awon emle email nga makwa. We're trying to find ways. I say, what resources can we use? El sismic role, el ngoy titiril me, el ngari am lang masoril me. To say, this home lego, maybe help program airfare or whatever, agi mego, agi stat rural, help pra ablabulis. Because instead of masawad a problem, but we need solutions. Yeah, a solution, we need people. Yeah. Another one, we need a new prison. The question I say we need a new prison, and we've been working on it. Part of presentation lang and at the end of the day, we also need money. But how do you pay for these facilities? You need money. How do you pay to bring these people here? You need money. So, the agreement to third country nationals helps us improve our justice system. So, I guess that answers your question. How do you justify? So maybe that's the reason. Okay, Sula. Minister, similar. Come chairman ng committee.
I'm sorry, Presidente, pero kami sufficiently ka other sir segi del guktura third world nationals madibok to nga di SSL, and there's no question that Blila Kalbusergi, they have been extremely challenged in the past recent months to a year. So the challenges ra Blila Kalbus are compounded by a continuing and deteriorating physical structure that adds on to we have congestion, which increases the rate of escapes. Matelo Loringa President was saying shortage of manpower. May ngaringil continue el existing el components it's a difficult facility lang. Hindi some of the solutions that we're looking at the Lore the Telbes prison facility and next el temela briefing mo sabi el update ri the MPI was kada badula February as early as February el mo sabi el move el more segi dia ya uriora ambral girela reforms that continue to address I the security risks that are existing within this deteriorating facility to include a recent reshuffling division heads. The identify again el challenge el divisions al time ngaringiya reshuffling el angal mo sabel mo ringiya focused attention on what we've declared to be priority divisions to address. So, those are just some of the things that we are doing at the Ministry of Justice lang al-address ay gigit al-immediate needs lang al-security needs that we're addressing it. We're able to talk more about it there's nga comprehensive Mr. President hindi mnasukal address there's no doubt about it. It's in the papers. It's everywhere. Mang ginadalok mo sa gina.
And I think one of the things that the delay and we're working on cell vessel correctional facility rin. Unfortunately, hindi naka although there a national government instead of top the Lula correctional facility. Modem le urtuira grant. I wanna abdel urturia sera turo avisa amlo litera blura Taiwan la sega dos peangeso. Tial facility correctional facility. Di algire de los pers el terminal prison and kida more cell tia rehab center. Mang hoy mlaria al director sera lungar araureo marchibra before. One of the things that has been done namo area all out rural el trial finish. In fact, in area five contractor, 4 contractor el planning tira minister murir el prison el trial already and I'm sure soon we will see pictures before and after. Seguida abundancia en cloud to tell we know lo saying we need a facility. Tribal mesa chasing a basketball court maktia. The blue gym and the gym ra a basketball court to say. But you know those are important things. They need to get outside in the sunshine, get in blue airs and get in that facility will allow them to do that. Get so other make sure the Tilora have an opportunity to come back and be productive members of society. Mang maral constrain the Ministry of Justice, the Minister of Yang, Maradala Malblagan, they're doing everything to ensure sel gotten hopefully earlier part this year, Taragi Moro lang making sure a PPUC connected dengi. Say close Luriol make sure and happen and Aramamang Samal di connected tial vessel line and Lamruno. Other Shabrase, ilang transmission line. A problem kami other Belao, am lam may transmission line. Edi connect to go blind mangal mori maulan di makmata tengir kami. Upo beurela transmission line mal transmission. Kami agirul el marura distribution line. So timas kami idea. Cell distribution line el bolorunia PUC mo connect cell basyo almost $1 million. Ara lado pa cell tengir mo cell facility. So, get sel bodom rega tel facility doruri, we're going to spend probably close to 7 or 8 million. They are getting clore. Na said was clore sel mo budget mo skura irai. But that's the value arang get, and we want to help them. So, team na so say either clore project and it takes time. So, the CIP, public work, new management. And they're doing everything. They've already shown us, I get a school, we're done in record time. Siyempre, all out, spread around, marabto contractor, complete. Now, same effort, correctional facility, in the prison. Sula.
Sulang Victoria, Happy New Year, Nermiro Kuye. Ekonom ko lang ko malum ko mat pere next press conference Jenkins and ko atim le so kalo gera fuel gel kidela program maul mang arngal geta improve so the local was ela kam no masa PSL program el mlamoringi maul mang mlang mas arngal ka man na improve ngaray gel ko ra PSL program el ml share el luul marngal geta man na improve ay gal scoring retir.
Thanks for asking that because I didn't have that. I have it in my proposal, but I got cut. Basically, what we need to do is to try and give students different pathways to their future. And what we've been doing in the past too much has been going, everybody does the same thing. So what we've done is we've differentiated instruction at the high school. level to where instead of having one class of math, there'll be 3 classes for them to choose from, some of different levels and different orientations. And then as they go through, there's flexibility so they can go back and forth between one area. Students who, let's say, might be strong in English, but they're not interested in math, they can take the lower level math class and the higher level English classes. The other thing which we're doing is with the advanced placement program that is operating right now, that will raise the level of the entire school. Because we're giving opportunities not only for the geniuses, but the normal students can do the AP program. I've seen it done in other areas. It's not impossible. It just requires good discipline. So that's another area that we need to work on. The other is in the elementary. We've been asking teachers in the 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, or 8th, 7th down on down to teach every subject, and that's not realistic. Because not too many people can be an expert at that level in math, science, English. So we now have departmentalized the elementary school, where teachers who are strong in math are teaching multiple grade levels of mathematics, science, et cetera, on down. The other would be our academy programs. We're getting students out into the field more. Our new teacher academy that just started, they are actually visiting schools on a regular basis to see if they really want to be involved in that. In our now business academy with our financial literacy course that'll be coming in next year, they're interning now with the Ministry of Finance, and so they can get an idea as to what that's like. So to open up their horizons a little bit. Finally, I think it just seems like as I went to the students' play, which the high school play, which was Mean Girls, which I had no idea what it was about until it started. These kids have so much talent and so much ability. They had everything from the lights to the action to the music. Everything was done by them. We need to get more programs like that in the schools. We're starting a bicycle club where students can get out and do some exercising and ride bicycles in a competitive way, instead of hanging out and doing things we don't want them to do. The other thing which we need to do is I was thinking we need to start expanding our programs for example, in some of the kids who mock trial or moot court, those type of programs for students to be able to, need to find more things for students to have. It's like if you have a big piece of the pie, athletes have a big piece and certain other kids have a big piece, but there are some kids who don't really have a piece of the school. So we need to find more ways of giving them their piece of the pie.
And then the last last two, kamle mention alwasing bus drivers samlamo sa real truck alwasit tetelar ngal ke so forth. Ngaring ako raw to swela education al mo mga tmokra attract arngal gal goradium sindel diu tengwal sub il truck bus alwase girel ger mandi albol misrabas matamre dal monitor tial basel wase ngarangar along elatigidel na to dangar along emerald batul ngaral marangal gamre evel mong mendial misrabas. I mean koramle mention ng ngal ga ko gora high tech makora dimle soal gora okay rakal wase.
Flexibility is important, right? Building a high school in the middle of the island will help a great deal. That'll give students 2 places to go rather than just one. The other would be as we're working with Palau High School online, students in Kayangal, Peleliu, and Angar can stay in their village and take their courses online. That's another area, but that's not the best area, but it's a big help for those kids.
So,
the last president.
wala nga ige malungil gere jene gida la ba gida si khran gida mola ba time le basa ngare schedule ri misi el time ngire ngarse inde qablu kul tragarin they should know lo se ngire ngarse ba show but you know indi en close to trail sel logoria advisor kida mbeona se angala sel to dra along el oral mascul en pedal tal siga mate do ngarabas tal siga mate do el borre so ngedel siga ngarabas sa tal sis اولم close to trail sel skura ba balda amo her pridem tigan alga mugada bal tamal الترا angarabas نقدس advisora عملنا سمرير مساعدة يجيل بأس البرنامج الدورو لما تمقل دي كده مثلا أورورا Ministry of Education is holistic كده نرى قال المرا تابل المرا باس المرا أبلاي المرة أو نصير سنسلم الأبجريدر تير المرة تريتار أمسوما evaluation من year round calendar electronic grade book different reading test marangalaga alsum nga 5th grader and the second grade level etungul mura aselo muy mo second grade telo bangelo de geda bangel 5th grader egida agagrosel nia amot magrogui help prangal ged mral mesasel el true potentiality sel nia el rulli I think kita unlock sing waise Victor kita unlock sel potential ang alagid blol el ses ling song sate al kita sate al modera excuse nga sel sel hotel ngarba belum tasuri ling ayer rogul dong los pe angari kita
Lekmlosel ribbon cutting raheris. Akmral mlo surprise the air condition ay gal classroom ma molmu tawum by so the limit tamada tial galgal tele be esa table manga the merenga suli wendi ngora swaden mom dingel wase ngeda a minister olgarin me mention wase mal na deteriorate Department of Corrections kada dire kamlo me saigal siya singlul olta special advisor Jenkins ngara ko ra future plan ra administration mo make sure wase ngarngi schedule ra maintenance de haltil staff cleaner igal ministry ngarngi adel sabe adel make sure wase ngaya experience ngil make sure wase igang ade al deteriorate pa adam asangal losigaw daw del mo mga tmok laigal maintain ra building le pebira time gatat muraigal of alwaya a capitol bira time or tolla de alurior mar ada ko titmu marale de accent sensulwase halex padia adel walo ngara make sure bol check ringi alup ti light tatan mal hale ko to ko radi accent reng masel passion as a citizen wase kadam satal mal hale kum ko to ngara adel ngara ti alurior mal gat maklim kadam la amoy tak medal ngara 8 million madaringel ra a school mang swadal ko ramo o Mr. Segi del direction ra administration wase magarabo at mokal girela tetelela de aldin maintenance sa school but overall el siya single sabi edel de kadulutan mo mautian kom asang losigaw daw del mga moklay gang
so malo tila malungil question point raga ya kumralo asesel mral first del dolmira arandira arbekla واسه تدخل سكولة قبلمنت ندخل سكولة لا أذن عبارة مسكولك من قال نغلق المسبرة بينجو لقم ترغاقلا التوم اللي بينجو هل متمال مريض رئيس برينسيبول ملسال مريض المغتموكلا إلا أمرال الامبورتانت لأن مول مونجر نكس نغلق سوبقي التوم اللي you know this is how we act sometimes أمرال جيرا دلو مقلاق ترادو واسه Chuitagal facilities, they will blame you. Take care of them. Clock leather rogul dos pe. Of course, a public work, but within Ministry of Education, a maintenance department. But adel enough trial adel gut mok legal regular. So sometimes a private has to come in and moment mok legal regular. And Triamadura Director of Public Work, Munalo say. ندير هذا الملامرة كلها اللي نعمل enough الهاير تيجي أنا مثلا القطيع privatized so I think what's important a process a self management mga close to a CIP is come up with a management plan every kita contractor white trial contractor and miru legal school look longora lo say there's a maintenance contract bolwa sa igel leng trige madang igel problem and how to fix them akura and that's something that we have to work on one good thing el digit maklia under a compact en se grant el mera blur belao di blur amrigera de lo hace kami ade kam decide wa segal udo dong morger mora maintenance 5 million at top del mora maintenance el momenten ayer klalo gimo nokra adra amriger so that's the good news so there is money for the next 20 years that there's money to continue and maintain ang facilities. Of course, nga isel 5 million for infrastructure, but that's why yung other upgrade nga. Last year kasi, gadamre nga sulala, Advisor Jenkins, el time minister, yung tirada kang paktel mora malagayo, tirada ang briga kalula drone kasi, kaya maltal mal school tia ang waisay, mga se Minister Jenkins sa director kasi, o yung kaman mrul adar ang briga na mo 8 years el tirada bela e waisay gal school. And kung sa hiye mildal mararandir, so one of the things that man when we ask lo asing ginagawa daw girla maintenance, never tira say 5 million for maintenance because they saw the need. Ese de kalsela other all bill mawasari like mura maintenance. Part el approval grant. We have to remember ngudu dira other amrigel te mesa problem ase kama so mayalo dam apoloru laige. I think that's dire kal dilogi ase ese limura dudam 20 million se mal de kal siro bal mora another to ngirel more education mahel ngari amna sorry ma state government no ila dal state government de kal bor all bill mal de albora officer president mal di mora justice education health so give them understand sa egal grant trigal grant tor lomski da egal iga ay gaw du dir masatan sen sorry ase mela selbo moit mora will lomitel mga daw ngir rowi. So anyway, ishira gayid.
Yati last two gori ke Victoria. Itel amora minister iyar nganyar adara brilliol wase. Komulo mle disperse out dir endi. Kom end up dim lamo ay sa ahead of time wase kom didakta 4% del tax. Malsum sabi emel goras mo di say melbol pagtak to ase singla adang
piang sulan echenega tobak lu do de gau reminder tirtial di gerel lu national government mo endi sela mal blaktak ngarala ma a director atak sa elwe o lumaktat karama mulwasing ngala el girela roguil atal el haraoring mang kadulu ay siringil mortil en kita kada dungar lirar be kladal giril madange elula balurir hindi mararing ya giret el madange ya altandim na ku ay siringira awlel nigu kadam halmlo meri kadal wasa kadam karange meri adal ngutial ngesol may malpol sa beri tirgal adal kwara maungila ka ikale Christmas ma a New Year holiday sertir adi gire lugi larungu ngi awasay al sugum dartel basenta en mal dia wal basenta ako tuwa badal mora akabalmente mga uspe eringil el guk masyora ay el services el tira aw masyora adal gire lamang
Mentela taxer tial out of the amount.
Yeah, 4 cents awal mo itin mera government. Sel total amount raw do del el mera blur bela global amar sel utum 127 million.
Wow.
So sel wasing mura amsang la government rebelaw medele million. Mga kadigo trulen angel malem redro se tektia de al taxable nga unda sura PGS till 10%. Makbla aman mura adra ablura blilo ase. Disel 4% tau imoralla luk tim sa da tokora utum de galo dega 10% lo la government disel 4% se modalin ko am katalla nani ranga ramol me se yida aman mol manangari include utum de dilis include a transfer angi dil utum mang asedro ase segura contribution or trial adra blilion mura arangale la blur belaw ersel uk sengelingilu
Yati
de mal dimre masulir malgi tra clausu besra maybe mlotri turgam kasi ngado kution da surti LPG still 10% mlabi sa setengare imol
Pwede
ase.
mila 4%. Adilas talgari kaya itorio ngaringi other belaw ngaringi account tira igal FDIC like Bank of Oima, Bank of Guaming. Iablu ramrige lawal blal sanction ra alubang tamla free sa account tir mang ngora swat el gora di al sugumen sab el gora di smodil wase ay geng wangara tetelel leng gora ngaringi amla gora umondal wasen di hal sabrin malaudu dirling tamla free sa account tir mang also mang gora di so kalo spare tel wase aguger ka mang gora other dari direct to gora spare tiang lo oti educator other velal partner especially other asinal wase
Morgi.
o gire den mo kargi mang gora di so kalo ger se leng de harole el ngau tu del el mol mutay gal gompalir tin mang wal blood freeze mang tawase da lilyak kalbalu yet ya bluram rigel amla so is brabalwa del marulay ga igit mang se akorati lastel girige
Well, sel yegidel togora financial crimes. Asing money laundering kada yegidel togol gombalira signal mlar belal niyam le involve igal activity maror au dudira adra blula. I think one of them 15 billion and telegam clol amount rawdo. So ngogi usegi damrigela taragoto clol krisi lobang atriga control igal bang grablula. Mang sel sugumat the sanction tadis tobra gombali modegal sel mubawdudel. In fact, the tel shipping registry tirigel other may involve shipping registry amlori ang clear ngare association or til mlora Iran gombali ngara Iran masera bol wai seyid etia adim le freeze modegal sedel mitenti. So, oy, que dile akal blue di banking system rablulada, everybody is part of it. Mang selbol waise sige del Office of Foreign Assets Control, se OFAC. Se di se el de ore gdawdo dra ngi dil bangara el se rablula. That's se akrisi loban. Especially el bangara amrigel ngarbela Bank of Hawaii, Bank Pacific, ya Bank Ramriger muter clock this year. Mral clock to tell about the tira other gida au shabalo matrir. Mogorgik len al sugum comia milla ayer gombali a milla udo, tirada milla udo de trigidel. El gombali mlar belal me adra yidel gombali ayidel type router ngaria possibility tamo osara ududir semral sel happen mang
Isbil osmaria business mang completely el angwal plan maasim tel tarasyo right
Porque choba una no me sel ngitinting ada sel open a bank account pues no me sel move udo that's exactly what happened to the shipping registry basically tiam la shutdown no me sel ngitinting no me sel del non deve essere receive payment, non deve essere del perarade, e udo da dingar se la banca deve essere meruto. Of course, in ngel other belau, magal el momodura FIC may be helper til maduro faglo sendia mama uktia connection and mama mortirgay. They need to go through that process, but seguida, and it's a lengthy process. Ilemrigera de seguida klisi lobang. Togora dim nom legal dile adra brasial dik mer dra port trafishit muta seguida prisi lobang I know yes togora police ra blulat se adra set police ra blulat through that mechanism yeah cloud to trela mral doña se tota do usio valo mantri egel top the report emla identify el gombali marad Ayer del muy ayer del medio no sé ngani impact ni ma al sugum kawa adal el mleo shobalo mentir or make sure that you're clear. No, oro idertir. Ele sel lul suela meriga laktimis kma aldas. Tase on dia. Tiga tu sisiladan di tu ngangul transfer ini morange. Ya tiadri kamal mol. Maulat tadi katrini raun. So
Sulang happy new
maran
year.
meriga. Tiga le adara shipping register se kama madi. Tadi mla OCS mama merogo da sam mitanti. Nigel kia se lola pulang arab dingi raya se lola ba awresta. Frozen. Yeah. Ciao.
Di ba?
Kaya happy new year.
Happy New Year. Mana ise damal damal marso wate. Onde ko. Mana dida mutel teal دورنا سوليرا أربك التيرا مشهورة قبل من تريدرا throughout the past year. تقوبت سلسلة تيرا السلسلة تيامال last الديرا يرم ديسمبر دوري فورس تجاب تقول ميلان ديسمبر دوري فورس. تلول we want to wish them a happy birthday, a happy new year, مرحبا كلاد, but happy birthday مرتجاي تقوبت سل تلول مغاريا LC ميغيل تيرامرال دي سنسي MOE Charmaine Aquino Palau High School direct MOE ma Daisy Ulit happy birthday ngara principal ngara elementary school. So 3 educators at Jenkins. Gerald Senardo ngara MPII minister. Ma Jason Brell nga MOJ ma Dr. Mogol ngira alsaw ngira isaw Mogol. We want to wish them a happy birthday. Kaya sa trial bulis our toktang tiga di aurora even holidays. We want to wish them best wishes and every other belong. Drive safe, be safe. Sometimes we party too hard. Party responsibly. And spend time with your family. And be thankful. Well, bodo lolo mrenga saul. Na igel klangal tangat el biskida ruba kaldia sori agam na mumregarak. Domur abes ragal el bes el mutrol da gargi de positive. Be positive. Mamoria beilega sector press conference be positive. Di mrenga sulela pastor sandario ngartelo banged. Mang kung aula lu kung saman. Pero lulu el dusese.